And we are live, I think. So we're here. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or a little bit in a reverse time to the community members out here watching. My name is Minina Chow. I'm part of the SAP community team and your host for this call. Very to have you all here on the topic Intelligent Business Document Processing with SAP Process Automation. And we have 3 speakers today. Starting with Evgeny Gorbanov, who is a product manager for Intelligent RPA. Is that right? Or was it?
Yeah. So my name is Evgeny. I'm a product manager for SAP Process Automation. Then I think, Tomasz, over to you for the introduction.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Tomasz Janasz, and I'm the area product manager for AI-related business services on business technology platform for business document processing.
Okay, maybe I can go next. So my name is Simar, and I'm a senior developer in SAP Process Automation, and I work on mainly the document processing part of it.
Thanks for the short introduction. So before we get started, I warmly invite everyone to post your questions in the live chat. We will have some time at the end. Okay, then over to you guys.
Thanks a lot and welcome everyone. We're starting our presentation. And today we'll be talking about intelligent business documents processing with the help of SAP Process Automation. I will start with a general introduction to what is SAP Process Automation. After this, we'll talk in more details about the document processing and in general intelligent services on BTP, which we can use together with SAP Process Automation. And then the main part would be the demo presented by Simar. So with that, I'd like to proceed to the next slide. And before we go to the main presentation itself, I'd like to remind you that this presentation or any related document and SAP strategy, products and platform directions are all subject to change and may be changed by SAP at any time for any reason. So please treat this information not as a commitment, but as an information. With that, we can start. And I would like to start with the big picture, right? Why are we talking today about the document processing and why are we talking about SAP Process Automation that helps us to do this document processing? It is because of the challenges that currently exist on the market, right? And the main and the most critical challenges in the market is that organizations fail to innovate at the speed the business demands. Yes, so the business needs quick changes, quick adaptations, especially after the COVID times. And now we need to ensure that the IT requirements are fulfilled at the speed of the business demands. And then the main, let's say, challenges or blockers here is that, of course, rapidly evolving customer requirements, accelerating demand for cloud solutions, especially. Yeah, and then you can see some KPI that the pandemic is accelerating cloud demand with 59% of enterprises expecting cloud use to exceed plans due to COVID. Specifically. Yeah, the second major topic is that due to the traditional structure of the companies, normally the companies do not have that much development resources, so the development resources are limited and that inhibit digitalization. Normally for many specific technological topics, we require IT specialists to take over and to drive this forward. But today we'll talk about another approach. And then last but not the least is complex and siloed IT landscapes at a lot of customers. And then that's what we see, that the number of applications is also growing and you use multiple different applications for different services, for different needs, for different capabilities to combine. And of course, we need to maintain all these applications and this make our IT environment, IT landscape very comprehensive, and we need to sometimes move the data from one system to the other. We need to compare the data. We need to validate the data between the systems and make it aligned. And of course, that brings another major challenge which we need to solve and which we need to avoid. And as said, we are looking at another direction of how we can tackle this. And this brings us to the low-code, no-code topic. Yeah, so at SAP, we have released SAP Process Automation in the middle of February as a tool to allow citizen developers to go ahead and work on creation of processes and automations without the heavy involvement of IT. Of course, we keep the pro-code capabilities in place whenever that's needed, and we allow now the very active and lively interaction between the citizen developers out of the business departments who are not really used and who are not supposed to write any code lines, and pro developers who can still support in some cases, in some scenarios. Yeah. But then now non-IT personas can independently use low-code and no-code technologies to improve business efficiency and agility of the companies. How does it look like in the big picture in our architecture? Yeah, so here we can see that we are bringing multiple topics together. Yeah, so SAP provides a unified low-code, no-code offering for both professional and citizen developers in one ecosystem to enable application composition on one hand, when we can build applications for mobile phones to enter the data or to upload some files and do some pictures for further processing. Process automation, when we can create approval flows, when we can create different rules for defining these approval flows and input information, and when we can also leverage automation capabilities in order to create bots. And then today we'll be looking at the bots that help us to process business documents and digital experience. So here we are talking today, as said, about the citizen developer part and the automation capabilities. About SAP Process Automation that combines the power of workflow management and intelligent robotic process automation services in one newly provided service by SAP based on SAP Business Technology Platform. What is SAP Process Automation? SAP Process Automation provides you let's say end-to-end capabilities to create citizen automation and citizen processes in one place, in one unified editor, process editor, as you can see here on the picture. And within this process editor, using low-code, no-code, so in a drag and drop format, and you will see that as well, you can combine forms, you can combine steps for the automation, you can combine rules, for example, to decide which approval flow should we go or which discount should we give to the customer depending on the specific rule or specific situation. And then, of course, we can combine it with intelligent services. And let's look at the use cases in a more detailed way. Either this is a lead to cash or hire to retire or source to pay process, we can find the relevant and the useful scenarios that can be automated or worked on using SAP Process Automation. Of course, we're looking at manual and repetitive tasks, which a lot of users are having. We're looking at the automation of high volume process steps and operations. We're looking at aggregation of the data from multiple systems or comparing and validating the data between the systems. Then, on the other hand, we're looking for extending and adapting standard application flows, automating end-to-end cross-application workflows when we, again, have multiple applications involved and we are going through some HR process or through some finance process of approval, etc. And very important area is intelligent document processing, which we would be focusing on today. And with that, I'd like to give you one further example of intelligent document processing. And this is based on document information extraction service, which is a part of SAP AI Business Services portfolio, also based on SAP Business Technology Platform. And this service is embedded into SAP Process Automation. So again, it fulfills our purpose to deliver low-code, no-code capabilities in one single unified editor. So with SAP Process Automation, you can easily drag and drop the activities, the steps, in order to process the documents, and do not write any code lines or do not do the API calls, let's say, by yourself by writing that in the system. Of course, API calls are happening in the background, and that is all being taken care of by SAP. And you still develop it on the low-code, no-code approach. As an example, I can we can take the scenario with invoice processing and receiving. So we have John as an account payable clerk who receives invoices, then read each and every invoice and then enter the data out of these invoices manually into a cloud or on-premise transactional system. Instead of this manual operation, what we can do is we can create a bot or create an automation that will go into the system, download invoices, send data for extraction, then get extraction results. So basically extract the data out of this invoice like document number, company name, date, amount, etc. And then we can, after we extracted the data, take this information and insert it into the system or into the target document where we need to put it. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Tomasz for some further details around the document processing capabilities and around AI business services in general. Tomasz, over to you.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. Let's move on to the next slide. So let me briefly start with explaining what we understand under business document processing and why SAP is investing into this area. So as you know, many processes in enterprises still involve processing of business documents, be it, as just mentioned, supplier invoices in accounts payable, or customer orders in sales processing. And even though there are various ways to electronically exchange information today, still large amounts of documents are processed manually, as you can see on the left side of this slide. The challenge is to automatically transform unstructured documents into structured information and then embed it directly into business processes to generate instant business value. And this is exactly the definition of the value proposition of our AI business services that are based on machine learning capabilities. Business document processing typically consists of three main steps. First of all, classification. So when documents arrive, you need to understand what type of document it is in order to know what to do with it. Second, extraction of business relevant information out of such a document. Here we talk about semantical information from documents, which is relevant for the business. We don't talk only about pure OCR result, but really about the business entities that are locked in those documents. And finally, there is the need for enriching this information with additional master data, which can be stored in a backend system and posted back to the system of record for further processing. Value of that can be seen in various ways. So first of all, increased automation rate, meaning less human involvement into the process. Higher accuracy by leveraging latest machine learning algorithms and continuous improvement over time based on user feedback. Increased processing speed and operational efficiency of your processes. And finally, with all that, companies can achieve significant cost reduction by reducing, for example, human labor that is involved into these processes. Let's move on to the next slide. On this slide, I would like to share with you the portfolio of AI business services for business document processing that you can find also stand alone on SAP Business Technology Platform. So the first one is document classification. It classifies documents into customer-specific categories. It takes document image as an input and assigns a corresponding class of this document. The example in the blue box shows the classification result for an invoice with a confidence of 90%, which means that the incoming document is an invoice, but it's not a payment advice nor a purchase order. This service can be retrained on customer data, but SAP provides and maintains a pre-trained model that can be used out of the box without the need to label, annotate, and train models. The second service, and this is our flagship service, which is now also integrated into SAP Process Automation, is document information extraction. It extracts semantic information from business documents, such as invoices or purchase orders, and can also enrich this information by matching it to previously uploaded master data. it takes a document image as an input, and in the example, it shows some relevant header fields from a supplier invoice, for example, invoice number or an invoice date that can be automatically extracted and returned to the user. This service can also predict line items of documents, which is quite important if you want to automate, for example, invoice processing in accounts payable. This service comes with pre-trained global models that are maintained and further developed by SAP. So for supplier invoices, payment advices, purchase orders, or business cards. And the last service in this portfolio of AI business services for business document processing is business entity recognition. It's kind of an SAP development of named entity recognition. This service takes text as input, such as, for example, an email body, and detects any type of named entity. And in the blue box, you can see 3 potential examples of such business entities that can automatically be extracted. For example, the payment period, the currency, the city, and so on. And this service can be retrained with customer data also. But also here, SAP delivers some pre-trained models for customers to use it straight away without the need to train any models. I would like to once again emphasize that as part of a pre-integrated solution within SAP Process Automation, we provide document information extraction as a capability, as a distinguished capability of SAP Process Automation. Now let's move to the next slide. Here you can see a list of some relevant business use cases where you can apply these services. So as you can imagine, there are plenty of possible scenarios in business contexts where you can apply those services. So think about, obviously, the main process is in finance, for example, for invoice automation in accounts payable. But for example, if you want to work with the payment advice model, then you can extract information for payment advice notes in accounts receivable. You can apply it in sales. So for example, to handle incoming customer orders, or for example, in post-sales campaigns, if you need proof of purchase from your customers. We have seen use cases also in HR and people management for processes related to, for example, HR admission or employee onboarding. And another interesting area of application is data governance, for instance, for vendor master data reconciliation, if you want to update your master data in your backend system based on the data that is provided on the latest document. Another area is document management, obviously. So for example, for managing large amounts of critical documents in, for example, legal departments. Another very critical example is in shared service centers, where the clerks or agents receive thousands of email requests daily. Here you can apply business entity recognition to extract relevant entities out of those emails. Now I would like to hand over to Simar, who will present some of related capabilities which are now part of SAP Process Automation. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks, Thomas. I will share my screen. Okay, I hope you see my screen. Okay, so thanks, Thomas and Evgeny, for explaining what document information extraction, or I would say document processing in SPA is. So I would like to do a live demo session with every one of you so that we can know how you can use the capabilities of document information extraction inside the SAP Process Automation. So not every document is same. So you can't just say that each document is of a specific type. So every document has a different structure. Every document needs to be processed in a different way. So in SAP Process Automation, we have divided into 3 categories. So first category is you don't know what is the structure of the document. So that means you are not sure of the document structure, but you need to extract some data out of the document. So let's look onto a scenario where I have power of attorney documents. So if you see the power of attorney documents, so these documents generally they don't have a specific structure, or you would say everyone doesn't uses the same structure. So here in this power of attorney document, the use case is that I want to extract the complete data, or I would want to save this power of attorney document into my system. So you can do that using the SAP Process Automation. It is very convenient and easy to do. Let's first create an automation. Let's say you specify your machine agent version, then you specify, okay, I want to extract the POA. Okay, you create the automation. It's taking a bit to create the automation. And once the automation is created, you have some activities related to document processing. So you search for an activity called online OCR. So if you see this activity, and if we look onto a help text of this activity, so it says that it extracts an image PDF document using the OCR provided by Document Information Extraction Service. So this is the exact service which Thomas mentioned. So this service allows you to extract the data from an image or a document. So it doesn't matter if it's an image or a PDF file, but it will extract the data and it will return the results. Let's see how it works. Let's take the path of this document. Okay, copy and take the complete path out of it. Okay, so we have the path of the document. Now, what you want to do? So you want to get text from this document. That means you want to have the complete text out of this document. So this is how you will get your, so let's name it, get complete power of attorney. And then let's put a closure to this automation. Okay, that's it. This is how you can extract the complete power of attorney, or you can extract the complete text out of the document. I will just quickly test it so that we can all see how this document is being extracted and what is the result we obtained from this automation. So it sent the document for extraction to the Document Information Extraction Service. So you can always track the process progress into using this timeline. So on the left-hand side, if you see, so it started and then it sent the document. So it is saying, okay, it is now processing the document. And once we get the result from the Document Information Extraction Service, you will be able to see the result here in into this panel. So it takes a time, it takes a bit to extract the result, but it should be available now. Okay, maybe we provided the part. Okay, let's maybe in the meantime it's running. I can show you how this generally would look like. So, so you create the automation, and then afterwards, let's skip to the part where you do the extraction. So we provide the path here, you put the get text activity, and then afterwards you put the closure statement, and then you click on test. And once you click on test, you would see on the left-hand side, you will see that it has been executed. And on the left-hand side, you can track the progress of the execution. And if we just quickly see, click on the get text, you can see the complete text is returned from the document. So this is how it works. Let's go back and In the meantime, we can see in the live demo, it took a bit because sometimes it takes time to process the document, but you can see that the text is obtained. You can click on this get complete POA, and in the output parameters, you can always see what is the text which is returned. So this is the text which is returned from the power of attorney document. So this is one of the case where you don't know how the structure of the document looks like, and you just want to do some text operations on this document. So let's see another case, which is one of the prominent use case where you want to do the invoice extraction. So let's see an example invoice, or I would say sample invoice. Inside this invoice, you can see I have the date, I have the invoice number, purchase order number, and all the details in the invoice, and I want to extract these details from the invoice. So it is really easy using the document information extraction. So let's create another automation. Okay, let's name it as invoice processing. Okay, let's create the automation. Okay, so for this, we have a dedicated activity to extract the data from the invoices. So let's search for an activity called pre-trained invoice activity. Okay, so let's look onto this activity. So this activity uses the pre-trained models provided by, or I would say powered by, document information extraction service. So these models are trained on multiple invoices, and they support the extraction of invoices for a multiple ranges. So you have to select the document type. For example, you can select if the document is of the type invoice, or if the document is of the type payment advice, or if the document is of purchase order. So for now, we support 3 kinds of document types, which you can extract using the pre-trained models. That means you don't have to go into the hassle of specifying or creating your own custom logic to extract the text or fields from the business documents, but you can just simply select the type of document. You say, okay, I want to extract an invoice. Then you give the path of the invoice like this. Okay, and then let's quickly fix the path. Okay, now you give the path of the invoice, and let's log the data which is extracted from this document. Search for an activity called log message. Okay, I drag and drop this log message activity, and let's say what I want to log is the data which is extracted from the step 1. So I click on step 1, I click on save. So the SAP Process Automation, it allows you to always, it allows the bot developers to always watch what is being extracted from a specific step. So for the convenience of checking what all details are being extracted, using this activity, I would put a breakpoint here, and I would say I want to watch what is being extracted from step 1. So let's say, okay, I want to watch the variable 1, and I will save the watch. Now we are ready to run this automation. Let's click on test and run this automation. Okay, so you can see on the left-hand side, the document is being sent for the processing, and we need to wait for some time so that the document is being processed on the document information extraction side. But in the meantime, you can see the data is already there. So it stopped at this point because we have a breakpoint. So let's look onto the data which is being extracted. So here you would see you have the document number, tax ID, tax name. So let's compare a bit. So, okay, let's check what is being extracted from this document. Okay. Yeah, now it's fine. So we had this document, and this document is of, okay, the invoice number was 284232. So you can check the document number is extracted completely. And then the tax ID, tax name, purchase order number. If you see, the purchase order number is also extracted. So all of the details are automatically extracted from these documents. So that means it uses the pre-trained invoice model to extract all these fields, and you don't have to go into the hassle of putting your own custom logic to extract such fields. So this is the power of document information extraction, that it can extract any invoice. So if the invoice has a specific structure, then it can extract the data from those invoices, and then you can work with the invoices and you can create some automations related to it. So one of the example which I want to say is, so one of our customers, they are using an example. So let me show you that example. So they have a use case that they have a hot folder, I would say incoming invoices folder, and all the invoices are put into the folder. And the use case is they want to extract the data from all those invoices, and then in the end, they want to store the result into the Excel. So I realized that example using this automation. So if you can see, I used a step called get invoices from folder. I just gave the folder path. I say, okay, I want to store all the result in this variable. And then for each invoice, I use this activity. So for each invoice, I use the extract data with pre-trained model, and then I add the results to my container. And in the end, I store the values in the Excel. So you can see how convenient is it to get the data from invoices and store it or use it into your further automations. So this is the ease and the flexibility of the document information extraction and SAP Process Automation, that you can extract the invoices or any business document without the hassle of creating the custom logic. Okay, so that was the second part of the document. But the third part, so the part where which says, okay, I don't have an invoice, or I have a very specific document which I want to extract, but I don't want the complete text of this document, but I want to extract specific fields of the document. Let's look on to the power of attorney again. So let me open it. Okay, so let's see the power of attorney. I would zoom in a bit. Okay, now the use case is that I want to grab the shipper number. That means I can have multiple power of attorney documents, but all these have the similar structure, or they have the same structure, but the values or the values inside these documents, it differ. So I would say I want to extract the shipper number, we want to extract the EIN number, or we want to extract the name of the property, or we want to have the full address. So all these values I want to extract from power of attorney documents. But how can I do it? So you showed me how you can extract the data from a document, but how do we extract a specific field of the document? So we have the solution. So the solution is called templates. So let's create a template to solve this problem. So I click on plus create, and then I go to the document template. Okay, and then here you can create your template, or you can train, or you can specify which fields you have to extract. So I already created a template which I will grab for you. So let's use an existing template. So I will name PO template demo, and okay. And I have this template already available. So if you hover on it, you can always grab the existing templates into your project. So I already have a template which I annotated the fields. So I will use the same template in my project. Okay, you click on add, and let's look onto the template, how it looks like. So what I did, that I used the template, and then I annotated the fields. So that means I said, okay, this thing is the shipper number. This part is EIN number. This is the corporation name, and this is the address. So I said, okay, I want to have 4 fields, but this is where you can find those fields. So that means you have created a template with the annotations, and now the system knows where to find the fields. So it is very easy to use these kind of templates. So let's create an automation. So let's say, okay, extract specific fields from template. Okay, you click on create. Okay, so let's search for an activity called extract. So on the right hand side, you can see there are 3 activities using you can extract the data from the document. So first one is open document, which I showed how you can use open document with online OCR to extract data from any kind of document. It's not specific to business document, but any document. So extract data using pre-trained models for the business document. As I showed, you can use it for invoice, purchase order, or the payment advice. Now we have the third part, which is extract data. It is not using the pre-trained model, but instead it uses the templates. So if you drag and drop these activity, and here you can select which template you want to use so that the system knows, okay, I can grab the values using this template. So let's select the template. We have named it POA_template_demo. Okay, we select this one and let's quickly put the path of the power of attorney. Okay, let me change the path quickly. Okay, so we use the first power of attorney to annotate or to make the system learn, but let's use the second power of attorney document to actually extract it. Let's try to do it. Okay, so let's log this as well. You go onto the variables, you select the data which needs to be extracted. Okay, let's click on save. Okay, that's done. So that means the main effort here is to create the template or making the system know where to find the specific fields. And once you created the template, you can use the templates in any automation. So the activities are automatically created in a way that it's a low code, no code, that you can just select the document template, provide the document path, and you are good to go. So let's run this and see if it extracts the exact data which we require from the power of attorney document. Okay, in the meantime, it is extracting the data. I would like to say, so you should not be restricted to using only these 3 activities. But the SAP Process Automation, it has the complete set of the activities which allows you to do the text-based operations. So you can just always search for the activities called PDF. And these activities, for example, you can get total pages in a document, you can get the dimensions, or you can get the text out of the document. For example, you can also have the, if you want to get the text after a specific text, you can use get text after, get text before, or you can use a regular expression as well to get the text from a document. So you can try out these activities as well, and these are very convenient and easy to use. Okay, so the data is extracted. Let's see what exact item is extracted. So we created the header fields. Okay, the shipper number is this. The EIN number is this, but let's first compare if it's the actual number, what we wanted. Okay, let's look onto the data. Okay, so the shipper number is 112813849. If you can see, the shipper number is extracted correctly, and similarly EIN number and the corporation name. So it's the Carter Software Services, and then the address. So you can see how easy and flexible it is that you can use these activities and get the data or extract the data from any kind of documents. So these were the 3 different use cases which we showed. So it is not restricted to only these use cases, but you have a couple of other use cases which you can use. and try out the SAP Process Automation Intelligent Document Processing. Okay, thank you for seeing the demonstration of this feature. I would now hand over to Evgeny for the closing comments.
Do you want to try again, Evgeny?
Yes, I'm. Yes, hello again. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, very sorry. Looks like my Zoom refused to work and show the slides, so it got crashed after I tried to share my screen again. Very sorry for that. Hopefully now it would be better. Yeah. So let me know if you see it now.
Yes.
Okay,
it looks
great.
good.
Again, apologies for this. Yeah, sometimes Zoom crashes at a very unexpected time. But yeah, thanks a lot, Simar, for the great demonstration and very interesting use cases, very interesting scenarios. I hope that it is very relevant to the participants of the call. And with that, we'd like to close our presentation. And here we invite you to our communities, yeah, SAP Process Automation community and SAP Artificial Intelligence. So you can easily scan it now and follow these communities. And there you can also not only ask questions, but get the product updates and find various different relevant information. And then there is other useful links that you can also find in the community or that is available on this deck. Yeah. So with that, I'd like to say thanks a lot, and yeah,
We're opening it up
that's
for
it.
Q&A.
And yeah, happy to answer any questions that might be.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing the slides, and we will also make the slide deck, I think, available. It will be posted in the description under this video. And yeah, I see the live chat has been very active. We had some questions. I'm scanning through since some of them have been answered too. One of them in between, maybe we can try to answer is, how can we process quotations if formats of suppliers are different? Is that?
Yeah, I think maybe Tomasz, you can take that one.
Yeah, I think I responded in the chat already. So it's a fair question. If this is not a document type which is supported by the pre-trained models that are managed by SAP, then you can apply the templates as Simar was presenting and demoing to you. And with that, you could create a template for each quotation. And then every time same quotation from a similar supplier or customers comes in, then the template is applied to extract the information from the predefined locations on the document.
Nice. I also see that you posted the answer. Any other question you think which is worth mentioning again, or anything that you come across a lot when working with customers?
I see there is one question from Joris Bettman. So it says that PO structures and quality can vary quite significantly between customers, and I'm curious about the consistency. Yes, this is a fair question, and this is the main challenge when talking about business document processing. is the diversity of the documents and diversity of layouts. The idea behind the pre-trained global models managed by SAP is to overcome this challenge, and by providing those pre-trained models, we try to generalize the information extraction on unseen layouts. For that, the main requirement is to have significant amounts of data, significant amounts of layouts on which we train the global models. The more data we add to the training data set, the more general the model gets. And it's true, so it can cause some inconsistencies. On our SAP help document pages, you can find best practices, how to apply document information extraction in a way that this consistency can be maintained over time.
Yeah, thanks for expanding on this question. There's a question that also came in just now. How many custom templates can we have to train before formats can be many types?
Maybe I can take this question as well. So basically, if you create a template, as was shown by Simar, you need one sample document. The reason for that is that the templating feature is based on the coordinates of the fields that you want to extract, right? So basically, you provide one sample document, you annotate that, you activate the template, and then you can start using that.
Thank you. And yeah, for everyone that's maybe watching the recording and has further questions, I highly recommend going to the community topic page for SAP Process Automation, posting that in the chat as well again, and finding relevant blog posts, the help documentation, also our 3 speakers where you can follow as they are very active and posting answers also to the Q&A section. With that, I'll wait a few moments to see if we have further questions in the live chat. Anyone that wants to raise anything? Here. Does the online OCR have a cost per API call or something similar? And apologies if this has been mentioned before, the user joined later.
Yeah, maybe I can comment on that. So when you use document information extraction embedded into SAP Process Automation, then it comes with a Process Automation license. So it does not require separate licensing.
Cool, and thanks for joining so late still. Yeah, if you liked the presentation, the demo, everyone was really putting a lot of effort into this community call, then give us a thumbs up, like the call, add a comment, and yeah, I see also appreciation shared in the chat. Thanks for the participants, thanks for listening in, for all your questions. And with that, I'd say let's end this call and continue in the community. See you over there. Bye, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.